And here we are in Game 5 of the Grand Finals of the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. Mondragon and Nony are currently tied 2-2. It's Germany against the United States, and on a map that is this funky and weird. I'm excited to see the strategies we're going to see the Ben Franklin Protoss pull out today.
Just want to give a shout out to Team Canada watching the hockey game. It's pretty unreal. Using my StarCraft multitasking here to watch both, but equally entertaining is this finals, man. These have all been ridiculous games, and I'm really impressed with Nony's ability to bounce back. He's very resilient, especially after losing his shuttle in Game 3. He bounced back very easily, and then to do the same strategy 3 times in a row. Not something I would expect from Nony. I expect him more as the quote-unquote innovator. And it's really worked well though, and it's given great games to watch thus far.
Yeah, just super solid Protoss player. And for once, we see no early expansion coming out, just a pylon in the main. A lot of players love two-gating on Outsider because they have the chance to be very aggressive early on, and they can expand to the back door. And as someone who's played against Nony many times in major tournaments, I can say he loves two-gating. I can also say it's absolutely terrifying to play against. He has this incredible ability with his Zealot control. He's super aggressive with it, but he is one of the few Protoss players who knows all the good transitions out of two-gate. A lot of players just start making Zealots and just keep making Zealots. Just hope for the best. But Nony knows when to get that Cybernetics core up, knows when to start going Dragoon, and with all that said, Nony is instead going fast gas, so I am proven wrong yet again.
Yeah, a little strange because 2-gate is really strong on Outsider, as you said. Even at the pro level, that's typically something we see. And we see Mondragon going for a standard 9 pool, no gas, and he's got the drone blocking the ramp. But, I mean, the probe seeing the drone on hold position probably knows what's going on back there. It's not going to infer that there's some sort of backdoor expansion. So, Nony should be prepared for this. And yeah, Nony has really strong Zealot versus Zergling micro in low numbers. I've experienced playing Team Melee against him. Us having 4 people and losing to his standard 2-gate, so really strong. And now the drone coming out trying to expand, that probe being just annoying as probe can be, and I don't know why the drone's giving chase, but there it goes.
Oh, I'm just giggling about that Team Melee thing, and oh, look at this probe giving tons and tons of trouble right there. Looks like Nony is going to barely get 2 Zealots out in time, but as we like to say, barely is what's expected in StarCraft, man. You walk the razor's edge in this game always, and especially if you're doing something like Nony's doing, where you're going for this very fast Cybernetics core, you need to be extremely careful with the Zealots at your ramp. Third one already being made, being extra cautious.
Surprised Mondragon not moving out with these Zerglings. He's getting a few more and now deciding to move out. Typically with a 9 pool, you want to be right out there and get that information on what your opponent's doing. 2 Zealots, as you mentioned, blocking the ramp, so Mondragon not going to be getting any information from there. Putting down a 3rd hatchery, and now he's going to be taking his gas pretty soon, I'm going to expect. Here goes Mondragon, taking the gas right now.
Yeah, and one thing I loved so much is when that Cybernetics core finished, he built a Dragoon right away. He's very aware that the way he loses early on is to a big Ling bust. Not like in the way his Zealots are positioned right now. Ooh, sneaking out there, picking off a Zergling, but he needs to reposition that really quickly. Let's see if Nony's going to be able to get this 3rd Zergling. I think that Mondragon kind of knows what's up here and doesn't want to push his luck too much.
Yeah, Mondragon's got to know that Corsair's on the way. I'm going to be interested to see how he deals with it. The 2 options probably going to be a Spore Colony or some sort of Hydralisk Den, both viable depending on how you want to follow up. And it's also interesting to think about how is Nony going to follow up. We see a Citadel of Adun coming up. Both viable options are some sort of Dark Templar into expansion, or even Zealot Legs is viable as well. We see the Probe putting down a Templar Archives. So it's either going to be a Dark Templar follow-up, or it's possible some sort of Archon follow-up. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I mean, if we look back in Mondragon's base, he only has 7 drones mining minerals in his main, and 3 drones mining minerals at his expansion. It's super ultra low econ. I mean, that first Corsair is out doing a ton of damage. There's Dragoon even helping out at the left side of Nony's base. Nony sending that Corsair up to the Northlands and adding on 2 more gateways. Ooh, looks like we are going to see some sort of Giganto Zealot Archon push coming up real soon here.
And this may be a little difficult for Mondragon to spot as Nony moving out. I mean, if there's a Dark Templar coming out, once that Dark Templar gets out, starts cutting down Lings, they're obviously going to retreat into the natural, and then it becomes difficult to tell what your opponent's doing when you're playing blind. We see this Overlord just standing there on hold position, just getting beaten by that Corsair. It's just a punching bag. So that first Overlord's going to get taken out, sending Mondragon into the red. We see he's trying to counter this with getting Hydralisk speed, but he's actually taking a lot of damage. His economy looks a little fragile compared to how I would expect to see it, and he might be in trouble if Nony gets a pretty big army in this kind of one-time attack.
And look at this beautiful mass Dark Templar strategy by Nony. Oh, this is such creativity. Look, the Ben Franklin Protoss is striking again. This is very similar to what Anytime did against Yellow in their very famous round of 16 OSL game on R-Point, where Anytime just busted in with like 5 or 6 Dark Templar, and because they do so much damage in small numbers, I mean, just absolutely tore through the front, and there's just not that much defense right now for Mondragon. I think that this is going to be it right now, unless Mondragon can figure out some genius way to hold, building a second creep colony, but the drone count is still so low.
He's throwing up a lot of creep colonies, and this is something a lot of people haven't experienced. I actually remember Hotbit always brings up my loss to him, where he used Dark Templars to target the Sunkens, just because the Dark Templar deals so much damage. They tear through the Sunkens so quickly. Mondragon has some sort of a block here. He's got a drone out there trying to block as well, but now the Zealots are in. The Dark Templar gets sniped by the Hydras, but a lot of units coming in. It's going to be very close. We need these Sunk colonies to morph. Right now, another one coming in. The third one going to finish now. Reinforcing with Zerglings. Looks like the Dark Templar getting taken out. Mondragon may be able to hold. It's very hard to tell. Looks like he's actually targeting the Dark Templar. Very smart reinforcing Zealots coming in. I'm surprised he held that so well. His economy is a little bit shattered, but Nony has no expansion, so his economy is even worse. But now with nothing in the main and no minerals, very difficult for him to defend. And here's this Corsair just adding insult to injury, taking out the Overlords while you're trying to deal with Zealots in your main.
Yeah, and still more Dark Templars being made from Nony. Nony's confident that this attack can bust in there. And with all these Zealots just running amok in the main, it's going to be a little hard to block the front properly. Ooh, a Dark Templar running in, and what's it target? The Sunken Colony. Nony is going for the jugular right now. Look at this Hydralisk at the bottom hatchery just glitching out like crazy.
Just dancing.
Yeah, I know. He's just a little scoot around Aru in the midst of this crisis right here. Overlord falls. There is no detection anywhere for Mondragon. Mondragon desperately trying to make another Overlord, but it looks like these Dark Templar are in fact going to break in. And if we go back down to Nony's base, he is taking his third. He is getting Archons. Getting 2 Templar, which no doubt will be morphed into Archons, but we see that these Dark Templar are just wreaking havoc at the front, taking out the Sunken colonies. The Zealots can even come in there, but Nony microing this Dark Templar beautifully. The Dark Templar finally fall, but not before doing serious damage to the army count and drone count of Mondragon.
And I think these few Zealots are actually going to be able to clean up the game. Mondragon only with 5 Hydras. Looks like he wants to turn around, but let's look at the supply. It's 35 for Nony with a perfect economy, and Mondragon's economy not looking that hot at 22 supply. Looks like he wants to press the issue, sending these 5 Hydras down. That is not a good idea. As we see 2 Templar out. Is Storm being researched? Yes. So they may not be merged, but a lot of cannons going up as Nony knows he's got a significant advantage, does not want to throw the game away.
Yeah, and there's no Dark Templar anymore, which is interesting, because that's the way that Nony would be able to hold this. And oh, good game!
Oh, there it is.
To the front, sees the expansion is done, and after the damage he experienced, and there's even a probe in his main, seeing everything that was going on, Mondragon knew that there was no way that he could win that game, which means that Nony, who was originally down 0-2, is currently up 3-2, and we're going on to now a deciding match coming up here in the Game 6 of the Grand Finals.
They need to rename the TSL the TCL to the Team Liquid Comeback League, because it seems like all they want to do is do reverse all kills throughout this entire tournament. Just ridiculous. Nony playing in that game does not even look like the same person in Game 1. Like, he got some stim packs or something halfway through, because he's just playing way better than he looked in the original games. So I'm not sure what happened, but he looks on fire these last 3 games.
But what's kind of scary for Nony right now is the 2 maps that he's coming back on are Destination and Andromeda, the 2 maps that he lost right at the start. And Nony didn't look particularly overwhelming in that first game. Nony looked pretty, beatable in that series. So, I mean, it's going to be a little tough coming right here. I think Mondragon's going to feel a little bit of comfort. And at the very least, Nony's thinking that he really needs to prove himself on this map if he wants to win it.
And as we mentioned in the start of the cast, if there's any sort of interesting strategies, now that we're at the second round of the map, it's going to be interesting to see if they bust out something we've never seen before on Destination, given that they've already played through it with each other, I mean, a few hours or an hour beforehand in Game 1. Mondragon looked incredible in Game 1 on Destination, so I'm really going to hope to see that he can bring back to that form, use his smart build order, changing his build order slightly, as he did in Game 1, and bring that form back as we move into Game 6.
And you know what? I'm just so excited. I have no idea what the results of the games are. Let's just jump right into Game 6. I know the viewers want to do it. Here we go, straight into the finals of Game 6.